YouTube was good. It's your boy, Paul Harris, aka the Medusa. Hey, if this is your first time tuning in, go ahead, hit the doggone subscribe button. Hit the motherfucking notification bell every time I post up new content. I felt like I had to go back and actually really do this one because for the most part, yeah, I did a show on this a while back, but I actually really never told y'all, or at least I never told y'all directly on what a man's true hoe is. And so on this particular episode, I'm actually really going to tell y'all what, keyword, what, not who, is a man's true hoe is, right? So a man's true hoe, like what I said in my previous show, a man's true hoe has never been a woman. Never has. Because for the most part, if you actually really know what the true definition of what a hoe is and what a hoe actually really does, right? Everybody that's actually really going to watch this show, right? If you actually really got enough about you, right? You should it's quite obvious, right, that it was never a woman. It could never actually really be a woman for the most part, right? So with that being said, if y'all, so for the most part, if y'all really don't know, a man's true hoe has always been his dick, because for the most part, right, for those of us that actually really have the gift of the gab, right? I can sit up here. Anybody that actually really know how to work that mouthpiece real good, right? We can actually really go. You can actually really go to the club. You can go to the grocery store. Motherfucker, you go any goddamn where, right? And then for the most part, right, once you actually really start talking that real good shit, right? What the fuck I'm actually about ready to tell y'all right now, right? And then for the most part, if you are actually like a farmer and you actually really go out there and you plant seeds, you actually really go outside and you look at what the fuck that you actually really working with, right? So for the most part, right, a farmer or a player for that matter, again, you're gonna talk that real good stuff, right? And especially if the appearance that you actually really putting off, right? It's gonna be like, ooh, he look kind of good. So let me hear what he's talking about first. And if you actually really sound really good about it, then guess what? That little cooter down there gonna get wetter than a motherfucker, right? Plain and simple. So for the most part, if it get real good, then we already know what the fuck is gonna happen. Is it gonna be your place or mine? Plain and simple. But let's just say that is at like it's put like this. That what I just told y'all, right? Let's just say that that's not at the lowest level possible. Well, let's just say that it's like the next best thing almost. And just know that what an actual farmer does versus what an actual person does. Just know if you treat it right and depending on the time frame of what it is that you actually really have planted, right? 9 months later or however long that it's actually really going to take the harvest to grow and to actually really come up the way that it was intended to come up, then you can actually really say that you're a farmer, you got a green thumb, or you got a human thumb. Or, however y'all actually really want to look at this, then hey, look at it how y'all actually really want to look at it, right? But I'm actually really saying this because once, because here's the deal, because I'm always doing research. I'm always looking. I'm always looking at stuff what I said previous. I'm looking at what other people have said previous. And then I actually really go back and I think about, okay, well, what is it that what is it that I miss? What is it that I'm not catching here? And then just like right now, okay, bam, okay, I got it. I know what the fuck they was talking about here, right? And so for the most part, what I'm about to tell y'all right now, right? Y'all might actually really look at it and be like, okay, well, damn, duh, we already knew that, right? But let's just say that we gonna actually really do this Apollos Harris, aka the Medusa style, for a minute, right? So I would just ask, like, really, for those y'all, I mean, if y'all want to call me crazy, lunatic, whatever the fuck, a lot of people call me the crazy uncle. And for the most part, I've always got that, why, especially while I was in, right? But, when I actually really look at this, when I actually really stopped and looked at this for a minute, and whether or not y'all actually really want to believe me or not, then hey, that's y'all. But, if you actually really stop and look at cloning for a minute, and then when you actually really stop and think about, okay, well, what is cloning and when did it actually really start, considering what these so-called motherfucking scientists has always told us? I mean, because I've heard people say, well, cloning started back in the 1940s. But then when you actually really stop and think about it for a minute, human cloning has been around forever and a day, right? My proof, identical twins, right? And so for the most part, if you actually really stop and think about it for a minute, right? If everybody had a goddamn twin, so let's just say that you have a twin, and just say that you're the good one and the other one is the bad one, whether it be male or female, right? Then just say the other motherfucking guy can really go out there and do some shit that they ain't got no business doing. You wasn't there, but it's just for the simple fact, hey, guess what? You look just like your twin, so guess what the fuck is going to happen to you? You gonna get a motherfucking arrested off of some shit that you never did, right? So whoever the first set of twins were, right? That's when motherfucking cloning started. Or if you actually really want to really be persnickety or scientific about this, God damn it, man. Look, you're gonna have to hold off on that. But the thing about it though is this, people. Once you actually really once you actually really take the human body for what it is, 206 bones, 62 pairs of nerves, 12 pints of blood in the body, regardless of how fat that you may become, that's known as that is the motherfucking standard for any human body. And that's even like counting the Neanderthal, if indeed that motherfuckers actually really ever existed. Okay, so for the most part, I know what a lot of y'all actually really saying. Okay, well, what the fuck does this have to do with you and your whole actually really putting in work? Well, again, if you never actually really thought about it the way that I'm actually really telling y'all right now, then guess what? Your ass and actually really got wet. You actually really listening to something for the most part that you ain't never heard of before. And so now I got your motherfucking attention. So now the thing is, okay, well, tell me more. I'm open up, I didn't open up to you or whatever. So whatever motherfucking seed that you actually really trying to plant in me, then hey, by all means, do so. Right? And so you can look at it from that aspect. So let's actually really look at it as far as like the educational system goes. So for the most part, for the most part, they've all, everybody's always said that, well, hey, look, they know who the fuck you are by the way that you talk. As far as like English goes, and how well, English, as far as like how well you can talk, how well you can actually read, how well that you can actually really comprehend shit. And the motherfuckers always holler about, well, math is the universal. You can't tell whether a motherfucker is so-called white, so-called black, so-called whatever the fuck else. But then again, when you actually really stop and think about it for a minute, let's actually like really look at math and all of this so-called glory. And let's actually really just stop and think about, okay, well, what is it about mathematics that we really haven't caught on to yet? Right? And again, go back and look at this show, what I did. Okay, well, how well do you know your ABC? Right? Because I can ask anybody right now 2 questions, and I already know a lot of y'all actually really gonna get it wrong. So let's actually like really let's do this right fast. 2 plus 2 equals 4. True or false? 2 times 2 equals 4. True or false? Right? Now, if you actually really know anything about how mathematics goes, right? And I had debates about this plenty of times, right? Is it a lower, like this, is it really a plus sign or is it a lowercase t? Right? And then when you have to really look at what they have to symbolize multiplication, right? It's an X. Now, for the most part, it's been told to us, X in mathematical terms means multiplication. Or it can actually really mean the unknown factor. So we straddling the motherfucking fence now. So this is what the fuck we do. We straddle the fence. We really don't know where the fuck we going on a lot of things. So again, me and my HOE, we putting in serious goddamn work right now. And for the most part, this is I haven't even begun to actually really dug in. I'm just out there just shifting through the motherfucking dirt right now. And it's just for the simple fact, again, it's like what I said earlier. A lot of people call me crazy. They want to call me the crazy uncle, which I have no problem with that. But I'm going to tell you something what my old man asked me a while back. Matter of fact, it was probably around about the same time where I actually really met my dad, my actual dad, for the first time. And I was 19 years old, and all of this song and dance is in the book that's actually really coming out here quite shortly. But he asked me a very important question, right? He said, you know what, I'm gonna ask you something, because he kept on telling me, because he always said, well, look, why is it that you always calling that person over there crazy? Or them people over there crazy? Why is that? Why are you always saying that? And then for the most part, right, me, I really didn't have no motherfucking real true explanation about it. So he just asked me the question. He said, okay, what, son? I tell you, this is what the fuck I need for you to do. I mean, great fact, after I actually really took it in consideration. No, I didn't do it. But I actually really know where the hell he was going with it. And so the question was, he said, look, if I put your ass out there on the corner right now, right? And I just said, hey, look, just go out there and just start talking, right? Just talk about anything and everything that you actually really want to talk about. Make sure that it's something that is always continuous, right? And so you go out there and you start talking. And so now the question is, are you crazy? And then for the most part, a lot of people may say, well, yeah, of course, you crazy or I'm crazy. Because for the most part, who the fuck are you out here really talking to? Right? So let's just say that once time progresses and you talking, and let's just say that somebody actually really walks by you and you say that one thing that's going to capture their attention. And so then they stop, they'll back up, and then they'll start listening to you. I mean, I grant the fact, yeah, they listening to you, but you actually really don't pay them no mind. But it's just for the simple fact that you didn't capture that person's attention, that one person's attention. You got them right now. So now I'm going to ask you the same question. Are you crazy? Right? Now, for the most part, depending on how you are really looking at the situation, you may say yay or nay. Right? And then again, as time progresses, you got that one person. Yeah, they may leave. Yeah, they may stay. But then here come somebody else. Or here come two other people. Right? And then this is where you can actually really call it the sheeple effect if you want it. But it's all about how the hell you actually really look at it. Right? So say you already got that one individual. Now here come two other people. Now they listening to you. So now you got three people listening to you. Just like I got three people watching me right now. So for the most part, so I'm going to ask you the question again. Am I crazy? Well, of course not now, because now I got somewhat of a little bitty crowd. But, you know, but just know that I really ain't paying too much attention to them, because I'm only going off of what the hell my dad told me to do. He told me, look, carry your little ignorant ass out there on that goddamn corner, start talking, and let's just see how many people actually really gonna come to you. Right? So now I got three people. I got three people. I had three people then, I got three people now. So I'm talking. I'm steady talking. So again, as time progresses, I'm steady talking. And it's still continuous. Let's just say that all of this stuff what I'm actually really talking about is all of this stuff that I've actually really learned over the course of the years, over my 47 years of life, up until this point now. I'm just talking. Everything that I've actually really witnessed, everything I've actually really learned, all my high points, all my low points, and everything it got there between. This is what I'm saying. This is what I'm talking about right now. And I have captured your attention. So again, you walking down the street or you driving your car. So you see me and these other three people. So one or two things is going to happen. You either going to pull your car over on the side of the road, get out and figure out what the hell is going on. Or you're going to drive by. But just know once you actually really drive by, it's always that 50-50 chance of what it is that I'm actually really talking about, especially if you've already seen me before and you heard about me. And 9 times out of 10, what I'm saying on that corner could be something very valuable that you may need to hear. So let's just say that you pull over on the side of the road, you pull over in the parking lot or whatever, depending on where the fuck I'm at. And then you get out and you start listening. So now I got 4 people. And again, am I crazy? I got 4 people listening to me now. Call it being sheeple, call it whatever the fuck you want. But just know I got 4 people right now listening to me. And damn, I actually really got 4 people right now. So in either case, here's the deal. And I'm actually really enjoying where the fuck this is going right now. Because I'm doing this to actually really prove a point to everybody that's out there. Right? So, but then like I said, I got 4 people listening to me. And for the most part, I really ain't paying too much attention to y'all. I'm just steady talking. Again, I'm constantly talking about what the fuck is going on, whether it's with my own life, personal life, or what the fuck that I actually really see on a daily basis. Now, by this time, at this point of the junction, I got 4 people listening to me. But let's just say that somebody else come down the same goddamn road. They see me on that goddamn corner. But now they see 5 people. They see 5 people. 4 listening, 1 is talking, which is me. So somebody right now, again, whether you walking by, which for the most part will probably be more of an advantage to you versus than you actually really driving by. Because depending on the weather conditions, right, you really ain't gonna hear what it is that I'm actually really talking about. But if it's a nice day like how it was today, the windows are gonna be down, and then you're actually really gonna hear it. And I see the 4th person already left. Okay, I got it. But the thing about it though is this, and that's and that's what the fuck they act, and that's what is actually like really, that's what that's to be expected. Listen, I get all this, but this is what the fuck the crazy uncle will do for you, right? Now for the person that leaves or whatever, I probably could have said enough to them and be like, oh, okay, I got it. So now I'm gonna use what the fuck this person just told me. So I get all that. But in all honesty, what it is that I'm actually really trying to put out there, right? Whether I got 1 person, whether I got 100 people, just know that at one point of me talking, wasn't nobody out there. But the thing about it though is this: was I ever crazy? Was I ever crazy? And the question to that, my friends, was no. I was never crazy. I've never been crazy. Because if you actually really look at you actually really look up the definition of the word crazy, it's a very vague definition. Just like, what is it really to actually really be? What is it? What is normal? What do we actually really classify as being normal? Like, really, what is it? It's a very vague definition if you actually really stop and think about it for a minute. Right? Now, am I telling everybody to actually really go out there and these so-called bullshit doctors? Now, am I actually really telling y'all to actually really go out there and let loose all of the so-called crazy motherfuckers out? Well, considering who the fuck runs the goddamn government, 9 times out of 10, I'll probably say, you know what? Let them out. Let's see what happens. And 9 times out of 10, they probably could do a hell of a lot better job than what the fuck the motherfuckers is doing now. Clinical crazy or just what? Clinical crazy or just a subjective crazy. So again, now if you go by the clinical sense, right? Somebody's going to be out of some money, right? Suggestive, again, that's a very vague question that you ask on both parts, both parts of the equation, right? Because just what the fuck somebody tell you clinically, does that actually really mean it is right? Does it really make it right for them? Because again, it's all about how the hell you was brought up, right? And just because you was brought up a certain way, I was brought up a certain way, just just to be like, to use it as an example. So say that you became a success. regardless of what that may be. And then I end up not being a success. Again, whatever that may be, right? So just because you actually really got out of there, does that mean that everybody got to really listen to what the fuck that you got to say just because you made it and I didn't? No, that's not the case. And that, my friend, is where all of this shit actually really comes from. Now, I'm not gonna sit up here and tell you that shit that don't happen, that shit don't happen to people. Because you can actually really have some real serious shit can actually really go down in your life and it'll fuck you up forever. Right? But then again, how significant was it? I mean, because the way that is, you know, the way that things get presented to each and every last one of us, then it's up to us of how we actually really interpret it, right or wrong. So when you actually really look at it from that aspect, it all depends on how the individual or individuals will interpret on what the fuck that just happened. Because again, prime example, let's just say this, because I always say this in a lot of my shows. Let's just say for shits and giggles, hey, guess what? The baby 40. Okay, it's a baby. Ain't nothing really spectacular. Ain't nothing really spectacular is gonna happen with that. But let's just say that a grown ass motherfucker farts, and let's just say considering this motherfucker weigh anywhere from 250 to 325, right? Whether they in tip-top shape or whether they a big fat slob, and depending on what the fuck they eat, right? And they cut one, you already know if it's finna be something serious, right? But then again, you know this already. You know what the fuck is finna happen. So do you prepare yourself in such a way when you know that this motherfucker finna fart? Are you gonna actually stay there to see how bad the stench is gonna be? Or you gonna get out of there? That's the question you need to ask yourself. And I'm gratified that was only an example on how you actually look at it. But then again, you have a lot of motherfuckers out there that, that's what the fuck they enjoy. They enjoy sniffing motherfuckers' farts or whatever. And for the most part, they can actually really look at that shit as actually really being normal. Hold on, let me see what you said. So looking at from our aspect, we can say that they are not crazy or just expressing themselves instead of, yeah, it's all about expression. It's always been about expression. Just because you may look at it or I may look at it in a certain way, right? It really doesn't actually really make them all that motherfucking crazy. Because here's the deal. Here's something else what I can actually really tell you. And you tell me if I'm right or wrong on this, right? Everybody is bipolar. Everybody is motherfucking retarded. Because when you actually really look at those two definitions, look at what it is, look at what it truly means to be retarded. Because by definition, right? Retarded only means that you are slow to pick up on some shit, right? Bipolar, to be bipolar, okay, so you have mood swings. Some of it is at such of a small degree that it really ain't worth mentioning, right? And then you got some of that shit that's so motherfucking ridiculous. But then again, you got to ask yourself, are there people out there that are actually really equipped or educated enough, right, to actually really be like, you know what? Okay, I've seen this before, right? Because if you ain't really stop and think about it for a minute, say a motherfucker actually really get too out of hand, then what the fuck they gonna do? What is the only option out there for these so-called people that actually really practice medicine on a daily basis? What is the only option out there? They're gonna put your ass to sleep. Is that really an option? I mean, at least for right now, or at least how the fuck they look at it, then of course it is. Because for like this, the first time that you don't really know what the fuck you dealing with, right? And then, like I said, you go put like this, the average person is gonna do one or two things. You finna calm that motherfucker down the best way you can and know how. Or you finna run from them. But for the most part, if it's your profession to actually really calm that individual down or individual, then yeah, you're gonna strap them down, you're gonna put them to sleep. And just pray that them motherfuckers actually really forget what the fuck it was that he was doing before you actually really put them to sleep for a few hours. Because see, I'm a firm believer that every human being comes from the earth. Don't the planet Earth, the planet Earth itself is motherfucking bipolar. North Pole, South Pole, bipolar, all goddamn day long, right? And let one of them poles shift in such of a way that they ain't supposed to shift. Watch how this shit goes all motherfucking haywire. And again, we've seen it in times past, right? A person with a whole lot of sense once said, not knowing the earth equals slavery, right? Just know that the human body comes from the planet Earth. So if you really don't know what the fuck is going on out here or in here, because what happens here is happening out there. So once you actually really understand what's happening here, then you'll know what's happening out there. Or if you know what's happening out there, you'll know what the hell is happening here. I mean, because it's too easy for us to say, hey, that's a part of nature. So if an earthquake happens, it's a part of nature. Or if a volcano erupts, guess what? It's a part of nature. If a tornado happens, guess what? If HOE ain't got nothing to do with it, guess what? It's a part of nature. So we as human beings, being a part of nature, and if we actually really know what the hell is going on, we don't never debate nature. True nature, not what these motherfuckers do on a daily basis with the motherfucking HAARP, MK Ultra, whatever it is that's out there. Right? We can sit up there and we can question that shit all goddamn day long. But when it's actual nature, nature in its truest and rarest form, then that's something that you can never argue. Motherfuck what the goddamn doctors say and scientists and anybody else actually really think they know what the fuck is going on. Because I'm here to tell you, my friend, don't none of them motherfuckers actually really know what's going on. I've always said about myself, and I'm smarter than the average goddamn scientist, because all what the fuck a scientist can tell you is they can actually give you somewhat of a pretty good idea of how all this shit started. Well, me, on the other hand, and people like me, we can tell you how this shit all came about. Because again, let's look at this cup right here, right? Don't you know that this cup got here the exact same way that we did? Because at one point, we didn't have no shape about ourselves. But as time progressed, We took on shape and form. Just like this motherfucking cup here. Or anything else for that goddamn matter. Wasn't no big bang and part of that. This shit just happened. Because here's the deal about all of that. I mean, you can sit up here and they can be like, oh, well, look, well, this happened. This is when this happened, and this is why it happened. But like a lot of that shit is sheer speculation. Probably about the only thing that they may have right is that all of this at one point in time wasn't nothing but one big ass landmass. And then who's to say that it still ain't one big ass landmass? Okay? Because regardless of what a lot of motherfuckers say, the earth ain't that goddamn old. Because if the earth was that goddamn old, don't you think that the technology that we have right today will be a hell of a lot more advanced than what the fuck it is? And then, please don't say nothing about no motherfucking UFO. Don't go there. Please don't go there. Not to say that you will, but don't go there, because the whole thing about the whole thing about that is this. Now, if you actually really go holler UFO, now are you actually really hollering UFO as far as what the fuck these motherfuckers done told you? And then Hollywood, then captured it and then ran with it? Don't talk about what the fuck that happened back in Roswell, back in 1947, whenever the fuck that was. Because here's the deal, and I've said this in plenty of my shows, right? If it's a soul, put like this. If indeed there are aliens out there, why the fuck they look like us? Why the fuck they gotta look like us? How come these motherfuckers can't be a glob of snot? Right? Remember the movie The Blob, the very first one? Right? This shit come from outer space, and it was an alien. But for the most part, it looked like it wasn't nothing but a big ass glob of snot. Then it got hold of the old boy's hand. Then he ended up dying. And then no matter how much it ate, it actually really never took on human form. It went from a small glob of snot to a humongous glob of snot. But it's alien though, right? So again, I ask you, if indeed aliens are out there, I grant the fact, motherfuckers always holler about, ooh, guess what? I've been captured by aliens. They took me up in my ship. They took me up in their ship. They stripped me naked. And they put Noxzema on my booty. And then they were like, well, you not what the fuck we thought that you were. And they sit your ass back down. And then, oh, what the fuck you been? Oh, I just remember this big ass, like some people that actually really look like us. Their eyes were bigger than mine. But then again, here's the deal. Look at my eyes. Look at my eyes. Now, carry your ass across that motherfucking water and go look at what the fuck or who the fuck we actually really call Orientals. Chinese, Japanese, Vietnamese, right? And look at how their eyes are. Not to say that they're smaller than ours, but their eyes are a hell of a lot different versus, say, everybody else. So are we gonna call them aliens? Their eyes don't look like ours. So again, it's all about how the fuck you interpret shit. Anytime when somebody, because anybody can sit up there and tell you, hey, look, aliens are out there. Okay, well, if they out there, how come they ain't came to visit us? Is it because that we are that goddamn primitive? Or it could be just for the simple fact, ain't no goddamn aliens out there. All what the hell I'm saying is this. Question every motherfucking thing. I don't give a fuck what it is. Right? The first time you put like this. Did you ever ask the question? Because right now I don't know if you are either a male or a female. So I really don't know. So let's just say for shits and giggles that you're a male. You just like me. And the first time that your dick got hard, you wanted to know why. And then the first time that you saw a nice looking female and your dick got hard, you wanted to know why. You ask questions. A question is a motherfucking question, regardless of subject. Ask questions, my friend. Like, really? Like, why they want us to believe this? Why they want to tell us this 24 hours in a day? Why they want to tell us this 26 letters in the alphabet knowing damn well it ain't number 13? If you actually just think that I'm bullshitting you, once I finish here, go on my channel, look at the episode where I said, how well do you know your ABC? And how I broke that shit down. These are questions that I ask myself each and every day on a daily basis on why shit happens the way that it happens. Now I can actually just sit up there and say, well, hey, look, it happened that way because that's how it was supposed to go down. And for the most part, I can actually look at that and accept it for what the fuck it is. Hence, the baby 40. That's all what the fuck I need to know. I don't need to know why he fought it and whatever he did after the fact. All what the hell, you know. And you know what? Let me retract that, because the thing about it though is this. Maybe let's question why the baby fought it. What did the baby eat for the baby to fart in the first goddamn place? Was it natural or was it processed? Big difference. Just like all this shit that I told you about the motherfucking aliens, right? Is it natural or is it motherfucking processed? And I'm just here to tell you, those aliens, so-called aliens, are motherfucking processed. Hold on, let's see what you said. Attraction should have learned that in sex education. Okay, all right, but here's the deal. Before sex education happened, so-called sex education happened, how old were you before you actually really went to school and learned about sexual education? So again, another question, all right? I'm pretty sure before your ass went to school and knew about what the fuck sexual education was, you knew what a dick was, you knew what a pussy was, you knew what a woman was, you knew what a man was. So come at me again with that. Again, let's not get this shit twisted. Okay? School, whether it's on a public or private level, guess what? It's all the same stupid. It's just for the simple fact they learning how to be stupid privately, and you learning, or we learning, how to be stupid publicly. But just know, it's all the same motherfucking stupid. Many things start off natural until they want to improve. Then it makes it processed. Okay, well, hey, oh, you know what? Everything, put like this. Evolution. It's a motherfucker, right? I mean, because for the most part, right, a lot of this stuff that everybody learns, regardless of age, right, it's by a natural sense, natural instinct, if you will, right? Now, you actually really want to sit up here and talk about, well, the process or what makes it processed, right? So again, let's go back. You're a mother or you parents, right? You have kids. So by natural instinct, you're going to protect them from who and from what? The process is, I'm bigger and stronger than my kids. So I'm finna protect them until they get old enough to actually go out there and get for themselves. So again, being processed or the finished product from a natural sense. Or let's just look at it from an artificial sense. But just know that the artificial had to get it from the goddamn original, right or wrong. So again, that's how you have to look at it. Nothing will ever outdo the motherfucking original copy or the motherfucking original. That's just how you have to look at it, my friend. All right? So again, you know, all of it, everything that I said here up until this point, however you actually really want to look at it, look at it the best way that you can and know how, right? But if it's something that you really ain't too sure about, you can do one or two things, right? You can actually really go outside and actually really look at the creation in all of its glory, right? Or you can take your chances on Google and Wikipedia or any bullshit ass dictionary, right? Or for the most part, you can look at yourself and actually really know, and actually, like what I said earlier, not knowing the earth equals slavery. You are part of the earth. And this actually really goes back to this actually really goes back to what I said on my Facebook page a while back. I said, hey, look, most men go get their hair cut. Most women go get their hair done. But everybody got to cut the motherfucking grass. Right? So again, let's look at the grass in your either in your front yard or your backyard. When it get too high, what you finna do? You either finna go cut it or you finna go pay somebody to cut it. Just like with your goddamn hair. Your hair get too motherfucking long, what you finna do? You either finna cut it yourself or you finna go pay somebody else to cut it for you. See how that work? Hold on, let's see what you said. Okay, and the artificial process tries to make things better because they could have seen flaws. And oh, look at you. So, all right, Dan. So, okay, so let's just say for shits and giggles that you look at the original copy and you see flaws in it, you see so-called flaws in the original copy. And then you go make the artificial shit. Don't you think that with the artificial shit, that the same flaw or flaws are not going to come up in it? Because here's the deal. The thing about it though is this, depending on how well you make the artificial copy, it will never actually really be better than the original. Because nobody can actually really make the original. That's up to the Heavenly Father, right? Now I'm not gonna sit up here and ask you what you actually really believe in. I'm not gonna go there with that. So, but the thing about it though is this: anything that's out there, whether it's a motherfucking computer on any level, who's doing the goddamn programming? Who develops the software for the programming? And then who's actually really doing the programming? So if you look at it from that aspect, then guess what? The artificial is just as fucked up as the original copy. And I put strong emphasis on the word if the original copy was fucked up. Come again? I'm enjoying this. So again, people, because here's the deal. What I've been like this, if you've been paying attention, what the fuck I've been doing within almost an hour of me been talking, right? And it's quite obvious that my vision ain't what the fuck it used to be. And so now I'm wearing glasses. But every time that every response that you gave, right? What the fuck did I do? I took my glasses off to actually see what the fuck is going on. So again, I could be part of that same process, that same fucked up process. I probably felt like, okay, oh, I'm at a certain age now, so I can't see like how I used to see. So I need glasses, right? But every time that you did a response, I've had to take my motherfucking glasses off just to see what the hell you was talking about. Now it could be for the simple fact where, hey, look, you either need to strengthen or weaken the prescription that you got. Or this could be just for the simple fact that, hey, look, I don't need glasses at all. Again, that's a decision. That's a decision that I got to decide on whether or not if I need glasses or not. Okay, you believe in the Heavenly Father as you stated. The programming is adjusted to what is believed to be the better than the no, because again, right? Okay, look at it like this. Let's look at so-called technology as a whole, right? Back in the day, well, let's look at it like this. Television. Let's take television for a prime example. Back in the day, the only channels that you had was ABC, NBC, and CBS. And then you had to actually get up, cut the TV off, cut it on, and literally change the goddamn channel. But as time progressed, it made it where that, guess what? We gonna give you a remote control. So you can actually you really ain't gotta go up to the television and literally cut it on. You can cut it on from the remote. You can change channels from the remote. Now, if you actually really want to be like, okay, well, is that an improvement? Or is it that you actually really making people a hell of a lot lazier than what the fuck they once were? Because again, it's just like what I told you earlier, right? It's not about being better than the original, because the original is always the one that's behind the motherfucking program, right? I mean, because you have to really stop and think about how easy it is now versus how it once was. People have gotten so motherfucking lazy to it's motherfucking ridiculous. I mean, if it's it's almost like what it's almost like what Public Enemy said. What you gonna do when the grid goes down? Right? Because the thing about it though is this: everybody got along quite well before the internet happened, and before cell phones happened, before remote control happened. Everybody was doing good. But again, it's like, okay, well, hey, look, I really don't feel like counting no more. I really don't feel like getting up, cutting my TV off. Let me just lay right here in the bed and cut it off that way and then go to sleep. So is that a good thing or is it a bad thing? Right? And then it's just for the simple fact, you really have to watch or be careful on what you actually really call a flaw. Because you know what? I got a question for you. I got two lines. One line is straight, one line is crooked. Which one of those lines are perfect? Considering what the definition of perfect is. And what I just asked you. One line is straight, one line is crooked. Which one of those lines are perfect? Since you want to holler about what the fuck a flaw is, so what is your input on that? The original, meaning you can see well, and now that you're older, you have a flaw, meaning that your eyesight. You got glasses, okay. See, listen, everything what you saying right now, I just told you this, right? I mean, because like right now, I put my glasses on right now, and for the most part, right? Granted fact, I can go off of like really straight memory on what the hell you just told me, right? But it was just for the simple fact, if I feel like I can see what the hell it is that you're actually really talking about without these glasses, you're wrong, my friend. Both lines are perfect. Because let's look at the straight line, right? Whether I actually really take a straight edge and draw a straight line that way, or if my hand is steady enough to draw a straight line, if you can't find nothing wrong with that line, then guess what? The line is perfect. So let's take the squiggly line. And the squiggly line is a hell of a lot easier to figure out versus than what the straight line is. Because see, you can take that squiggly line and you can take it all every goddamn way. But if you can't find nothing else, then if you can't find nothing else wrong with that squiggly line, then guess what? That line is perfect, just like the straight line is. Okay? So again, it's levels to this shit. Like, seriously. Just like I say, I can sit up here right now, and just like I say, I really don't know how well you really study the human body, right? But just know that one side is purposely bigger than the other side. And that is for balance reasons. Okay? I mean, I grant the fact you really can't actually really look at it with the naked eye, or unless your vision is that damn good, right? But that's something that you actually really can't see unless you really know what it is to actually look for. Okay, so again, right? It's all about what you've been taught and the system versus what they don't want you to know. Because I just told you earlier, right? They want to say it's 24 hours in a day. Now, where I'm at right now, I'm here in Texas. It's 8:42 right now. But if I pull up that shade there, it's nighttime outside. But if it's 24 hours in a day, the sun right now, where I'm at, need to be up. But it's not. So at best, you may have 12 hours in a day. You can have a 24-hour period, but you can never have 24 hours in a day. And that is even including goddamn Alaska. Okay? So I don't want to hear nothing about motherfucking Alaska. Just in case if you was actually really trying to go there. When you're looking for perfection, it's between 2 points. No points were mentioned. Let's see. Okay, see, I see where you're going with it, because you just looking at the simple fact that I said lines. I didn't say anything about doggone geography or what's on a map. Okay, I just told you a line. I didn't say nothing about, okay, the distance between 2 points. All right, I just strictly told you, I gave you 2 lines. One line is straight, one line is squiggly. Which one of those lines is perfect? So where you get all this point stuff from? Okay? Stop trying to take it further than what I'm trying to tell you. Okay? So again, it is what it is, right? Trust me, I know where you're going, but come back. Come back. You're going just a little bit too far. I'm trying to keep you from jumping off of the edge. All right? I mean, because the thing about it, because I just look at it like this. Since you don't want to actually really look at it like that, let's look at it like this. At one point, the first time that you fail or you cut yourself, you really didn't know what to do. You didn't know how to actually really handle it. All right? But who did you go to? You went to the one person or persons, right? That you felt like they had a general idea. Hey, mama, I failed. I'm bleeding. And what did mom do? She cleaned it up, put a Band-Aid on it, and depending on what type of kid you were, you carried your ass back outside and you played. So as far as like perfection goes, hold on, let's see what you say. You asked if they were perfect, you asked if they were perfect, either one. And they are not, cause usually people look at it between, okay. So all right. Okay, look at it like this, right? And I know you heard this. If they jump off the cliff, doesn't mean it is okay for you to jump off the cliff. I'm not worried about what other people think. Right? Stop worrying about what other people think. Right? Because if I was always worried about what somebody else thought, I wouldn't be doing this show. I wouldn't be as far as I am in life if I had really worried about what the fuck somebody else said, about what the hell I'm saying. Okay? I'm not really, I'm just gonna put it out there. I really ain't too fucked up about what somebody else said, especially on the subject of this matter. Okay, because again, it's how you've been taught, it's how everybody's been taught at one point or another. Right? And then it's up to you to actually look at it and be like, okay, is this really what the fuck they want me to learn? Is this what they really want me to really believe? I mean, me and you both know what the obvious answer is, right? But you could be like, you know what? This really doesn't feel right. So let me go out there and see if there's something else that's out there. And I already know where the hell you're gonna go with that. Sure, if the landing is safe. Again, see, you still in that mindset, man. Get out of that mindset, right? Get out of that mindset. I mean, because everybody is so jacked up on what they feel or what they think perfection, so-called perfection is. And I know I probably just stumbled over some shit, but the thing about though is this. It's too easy for me, you, and anybody else to actually, when somebody say, well, hey, look, this is perfect. And then it's up to us, or up to y'all, rather, to actually go out there and try to find any goddamn perfection possible. And for the most part, you actually really don't know what the hell you're looking for. I mean, it's almost like saying, and just know this is a very bad example from what I'm about to tell you. Okay, what happened in your life to really change your way of thinking? When I was, honestly, for as long as I can remember, I've always thought this way. I've always had, the questions was always there. To be perfectly honest with you, the questions was always there. But nobody could actually really answer the question or questions that I had until I actually really met my actual dad at the age of 19. And every question that I had, he had an answer for it. And not just because he was my dad, even though a lot of it is a great deal, right? But the thing but what I'm trying to tell you is this: I've always felt this way. And then it wasn't just necessarily him that actually really sparked it for me, right? Because once I actually really found out, hey, look, there's a whole bunch of other people that actually really think somewhat similar to what I think, right? Again, similar to what I think. And then I was like, you know what? And then when I actually really went and did the research, some of it, I'll be the first one to tell you, some of it was my book. And some of it was just for the simple fact I went outside, right? Whether it was the front door, back door, side door, garage door, whatever the case may be. That I actually went outside and I paid attention long enough to the creation. Because regardless of what the powers that shouldn't be do to the earth, regardless of where the hell you at in the world, right? The creation will always tell the truth. So to answer your question, I've always been like this. Like no bullshit. So, this ain't something that just came up within the last 20 years. No, I've always felt this way. I've always thought this way. I've always asked questions. And I tell a lot of people all the time, I say, look, I caught it at an early age. 9 times out of 10, it was meant for me to catch it at an early age. Right? You know, you really don't have no control on when you catch it. Whatever it is, it's really not no, well, to a certain point, you know, let's just look at it like this. I'm not going to sit up here and tell you that it's not a set date and time on when you actually catch it, because it is. But the thing is that you may not know that particular day and time on when you actually really catch it. What you got here? But look at that thing that you seen. You made your interpretation of what is should be instead of whatever. So it's not my interpretation. It's not my interpretation. You know, because here's there. Because I can come at you like this, right? So you say it's my interpretation. Considering if you actually really know what interpretation is, right? It's all about how I say it. Now, I'll be the first one to tell you, you ain't gotta listen to me. Go outside and look at the creation, right? The creation shows all and tells all, right? But the thing about it, though, is this. Don't go and look at the creation, right? And then they come back and try to tell me, oh, Paul Harris, you was wrong. Because I'm going to know you're bullshitting. Because I can teach you each and every day, listen, if you wake up, just know the sun is going to rise. And if you hang around long enough, just know that the sun is going to go down. And within 8 hours or 12 hours, depending on where you at, guess what? The sun is going to come up again. And before too long, just like what I told you earlier, right? You either finna have somebody cut your hair, or you finna cut it yourself. You finna have somebody cut the grass, or you finna cut it yourself. Just know that something either put like this, shit gonna have to be trimmed down. Things grow up, they mature, they die off. Right? Things get dirty. So you wash shit away. Right? That's why you go take a shower or a bath or whatever. That's why you brush your teeth and wash your face every goddamn morning. Because your motherfucking ass is dirty. Just like when it rains, it's only because there's some shit out there that done got dirty. Or it could be just for the simple fact the Heavenly Father says, you know what? My grass is looking just a little bit too dry. So I'm going to rain on it. So I or anybody else that got a house and they got a front yard and a backyard, and like I say, right? Either I'm going to go out there and cut it, or I'm going to go out there and pay somebody to cut it. Just like what you do with your motherfucking hair. Or just like with anybody that actually really go and get their nails done, whether it's on their hands or on their feet. Shit grows. And if you let it grow too long, it's going to get out of hand. That's the nature of things. That's all what I'm trying to tell you. So when you actually really look at it from that aspect, that's nature. Right? I'm just coming at you at it in an English format. A Japanese person will tell you the exact same shit. You ain't gonna probably be able to understand it, but when it's interpreted for us to understand it, guess what? He said the exact same shit I just said. Okay? So again, go on somewhere with that Oh, well, this is how you interpret it. No, it's what I see. It's what everybody else sees. Oh, see again. Why you listen? Well, you really tried. You tried to get out of the maze and you can't. So you can get a sprinkler system and make it wet to where it won't be dry. And oh, so you in place. So you one of them. So you one of those right now people. Okay. Because see, I can sit there and tell you this, right? I can be like, well, hey, guess what? I'm gonna make it rain on Wednesday, right? But if I don't, let's just say I don't want to wait till Wednesday. I want my water, I want my grass watered now. So yeah, I go get the sprinkler system and I can do it that way, yes. Or I can have enough confidence in myself that Heavenly Father said, hey, look, come Wednesday, I'm gonna make it rain. So I'm gonna wait till Wednesday. Do you speak another language? If you bring it to me and no, well, there's so many forms of English that is motherfucking ridiculous. So again, tell me another one. I mean, because I can't speak Chinese, Japanese. I mean, I got a little Spanish. You know, I can tell you if it's hot or cold. I could ask you what your name is, but you know, as far as like anything other than that, no, I can't. I mean, because here it is for the past hour and for the last damn near hour and 20 minutes, we've been sitting up here talking, right? In English, so-called English. But I just said some shit that you ain't never heard before. Thus, that's why you ask all these doggone questions. So again, come at me again. Let's go. So so I get it. I don't know. Maybe you saw that other show that I did when I asked the question. I'm like, who dares to challenge the Medusa? Right? I don't know. Maybe you saw that show. I don't know. Right? No, let it look like this. No matter what question or questions that you may have, and you really trying to get out of the maze, you ain't gonna get out of the maze because I am the creator of the maze. No, not not a right now person, but a notice of the beauty that the Heavenly Father has created for us to keep it okay. All right. So why did you bring up the whole water sprinkler system, man? Answer that for me. Why did you bring up the whole water? Why bring up the sprinkler? If you have enough about your Heavenly Father, like when He said, "Hey, guess what? Come Wednesday, it's gonna rain." If you so doggone impatient, you wanted to water the grass on Monday. No, I have heard it. It just seems like you're reaching. Hold on. No, I've heard it. It just seems like you're reaching from time to time and very interesting comments. Well, here's the deal. If I didn't reach for it for my own benefit, then who? Because I know you heard of this on. If not now, if not now, when? If not me, who? So yeah, if I see something that's like this, if I see something new, and once I actually really analyze it for what it is, you brought up the rain from the, okay, I'm just again, there you go. Look, be still. I'll let you out of the maze in a minute. So the thing about it though, I just brought that up to actually really try to help you actually really see how I'm seeing it. Or to actually really give you a general idea on a different way of seeing it versus how you've been seeing it for however long that you've been seeing it. Okay? That's all what I'm trying to do here. I have a panoramic vision. That's 360 degrees if you didn't know. Right? Because I look at everything from every angle possible before I actually really make my decision. Right? And it's just like what I said, right? Of course, I'm going to actually really reach for something new. But before I actually really decide on whether or not if I want to reach it and grab it and run with it, right? Then I got to look at it from every angle possible. And then even then, if I still ain't too sure about it, I may leave it alone. Because who said that I had to actually go out there and grab it at first sight? See what I'm saying? I give you one more question, man, and then, well, I'm gonna give you one more question. You got one more question, and then I'm gonna get out of here. That's if you got anything else you want to ask me at this particular time. I mean, because I don't know. Well, they just look at it like this, right? I don't know if you actually really subscribe to my channel or not. If this show and like I say, depending on what time that you actually really came in on this conversation, right? Because I always start on my shows like this. YouTube, what's good? It's your boy, Paulus Harris, aka Medusa. Hey, if this is your first time tuning in, go ahead, hit the doggone subscribe button, hit the notification bell every time I post up new content. That's how I start off every show. Right? So, just like I said, I got a whole library of shows like this. Matter of fact, I'm pretty sure this is probably like one of the longest shows that I've done in a long while. You know, but for the most part, I actually really appreciate that you stayed around this damn long. Like, seriously, I appreciate you for that, you know, and just for the simple fact, depending on whether or not you actually really agree with everything that I said, and which for the most part, if you did, fine, if not, oh well. As long as you agreed with some of it. And then it's just for the simple fact, if you actually really like how I do things, then go back and tell your buddies. Matter of fact, tell your mama, tell your daddy, tell Big Dan, tell Big Bertha, tell your uncle, your auntie, your grandma, your papaws, the motherfucker next door, across the street, around the corner. Do all that. Hold on, let's see what you said. So looking at it at every angle possible, 360-degree view. So looking at it, so looking at both sides, you don't side with either. So you don't side with either, correct? And make your guess as okay, man. So again, apparently you really tried. You really tried. And I you know what? I appreciate that again. Because here's the deal. I really don't know who said it. But once I actually really tell you, you're gonna agree. You ain't gonna have no other choice but to agree on what the hell I'm about to tell you. Freedom is a road seldom traveled by the multitude. So you take it, hold on, but let's see what you say. I will tell you this. I know you and have known you for a while, but it's always great having a conversation. Well, who are you? Right? So, but the thing about it though is this. Listen to what I gotta say. You gotta look at it like this, right? On every subject, regardless of what it is, right? Is a road. You got a right side and the left side, right? And it's gonna be a whole bunch of people on the right side. It's gonna be a whole bunch of people on the left side. Very few people are walking straight down the middle of the road. I'm one of those that walk straight down the middle. Because if you're on this side or you on this side, guess what? Those people Whether you're on the right or the left, them the motherfuckers that's actually really guessing. So let's not get this twisted. If you're on the left side or the right side, guess what? You just guessed. You walking down the middle, guess what? You're gonna be good. Because before too long, just know the further down you go down that road, ain't gonna be no right side, ain't gonna be no left side. It's just gonna be nothing but just straight road. And ain't no time about pulling over on the side of the road and none of that shit there. Okay? So, so it is what it is, man. You know, again, I enjoyed this one. I really did. I enjoyed this one. You know, listen, let's just say that I enjoyed it, right? You know, I mean, but you know, it was, I mean, you know, coming from you or where did it come from anybody else, right? Everything that I've told you, I'm gonna tell the next person, or I have told the next person. So this is nothing new for me. Not new for me. Trust me, I've been doing this for a pretty good while. And especially if you've been watching me for a while, you already know how I do things. All right. So in other case, man, or whatever, it was good. I enjoyed it. And just like what I said, look, with that being said, tell your mama, tell your daddy, tell Big Dan, tell Big Bertha, tell your uncle, your auntie, your grandma, your papa, motherfucker next door, across the street, round the corner. Hollis Harris, aka Medusa. Let's do this again. And then next time, when we do this again, regardless of subject, make sure you bring in some more people. Let's get some more people involved in this. I'm trying to put some good material out. Okay? I'm gonna holler at you later.